Alright, howdy y'all. It is Thursday, which means it's day 4 of homeschool with both of the boys. Anderson already homeschools. He does a mix between virtual school and homeschool. Danny has just started his learning at home, so we're 4 days in. We are done with our work for today, and we needed to get outside some and just get some fresh air, so we are walking down to our creek so the boys can hunt frogs. They want frog legs for dinner, so here we go. On the way down to the creek, the boys had to stop and show me their fort, and that is the couch that they have built.
Anderson's side broke. No, it didn't.
So looks like yours is fixing to break, Danny.
It broke.
Uh-oh, y'all gotta get some bigger sticks.
Okay, this is sturdy. Uh-oh. I'm back up again.
All right, are y'all ready to go down to the creek?
Yeah, let's go.
There's our neighbor's cows. One of these got loose the other day and ended up in our garden. And we were a-okay with it. We would have liked to have just kept them, but our neighbors wouldn't have been okay with it. But we'll have our own soon. Just a little bit more work with fencing and clearing out some land, and we'll have our own. They're so pretty. I promise they picked their own fashion attire, but they're still super cute. We found a little eggshell while we were walking down to the creek. It looks like a little bird's egg, but it may be something else.
Because if you look straight up, there's not a tree. So I don't understand how it's all
Yeah, it is.
right down.
Either way, it was cute. You can't see her in there, but Sadie's in there. She followed us down here. She likes to come around with us. What, son? Okay.
Hold my gun.
There's Sadie girl. Okay, so the creek was a bust, but we're gonna go up to the pond and see if we can find anything there. And the boys want frog legs for dinner, so hopefully we can get enough that we can fry them up for them. They're trying to get their tongues around it. They want it.
I think. Flex those branches. Dang. Can I ride the bareback?
No. Sadie, it's okay. Y'all are pretty. Yeah, y'all are pretty.
You know one ain't a girl.
I'm aware.
Oh wow.
They just took it away. They said, here, I'll have that.
I'm trying to pet one. Hey, that black cow's coming. Feed that black one.
He knows that y'all have food. Sadie, no ma'am. No ma'am. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but our bees are working these little flowers out here. And all around you can hear the little hum of their wings. Well, there's the 2 raised garden beds. And if you look, you can actually see the cucumbers in there. They're doing really well so far. And I went ahead and planted a few seeds in there just to add to what was already in there. So hopefully they'll come up and everything will be good. And then they'll run over the cow panel and grow up in a little archway.
Hi guys! Hey! Y'all look like little fluff balls today. Let's get y'all some food. I'd say they're being little piggies right now. We mix their food with water because that's the natural way that ducks and geese would filter their food anyway. So we make sure we give them that mix here. And then we also throw some of the feed out into the yard over here. That way they can go around and look for it, scratch around. The little chicks can anyway. But that way, you know, they get food in 2 different ways. I don't know if y'all remember, but when we put the chickens in here, all of this over here next to the coop was nothing but briars and bushes and weeds. And in less than a week, you see how much they've cleaned it up. And if you're wondering why all the little bitties look like this, they look kind of odd, it's because they're losing their, I guess it's called like their baby fluff, and feathers are growing in. But not all of the feathers grow in at the same time, so for a little bit, they just look ugly. But they're still cute to us. And eventually they'll be covered in full feathers.
I'm actually going to fill up a little barrel, the end of a barrel, and put some water in it. And I'm going to let the ducks and the geese play in the water for a little bit.
It's not very big, so I only put 2 in there at a time. Although I think this other one wants to get in too. Alright, we put the 3rd one in there, just so he wouldn't be odd man out. There they are, fresh out of their little water, all happy, and now they're preening themselves.
This is my first pheasant I have ever killed, and I'm just glad to kill it.
So pheasants are actually beautiful birds. They have beautiful feathers, and parts of their feathers are actually, move your hand, Anderson, are actually iridescent. But this little booger would have gone down our garden rows and plucked out every single seed that we just planted. And we have had that happen before. So unfortunately, we had to dispose of him, and now we're going to clean him and eat him, so he will not go to waste. None of the meat will. It's our belief that if you kill something, that you use the meat and you don't waste. So that's what we're going to do.
We saw the pheasant around our chicken coop, and he moved over here. And he was right there. He went over down there.
You mean behind the barn?
Behind the barn, and I saw him. I told Mom. I told her, and I ran inside, got the 22, came out, shot him out 3 times, hit him in the chest, and I don't know where I hit the other ones, but I feel like I hit one in the head. And yeah.
Alright, so we just finished cleaning the pheasant. We're not going to eat him tonight for dinner, but we are going to eat him tomorrow night. Like I said, if we kill something, we do not waste the meat. We do use it for food. So, proud mom moment because that was Anderson's first pheasant. I think Danny actually killed his first pheasant when he was 5, maybe? He was pretty young, but they're both really good shots. They've worked with Steve for several years now, learning how to properly handle a gun, how to properly shoot a gun, the safety measures that you have to use with guns. So, but we were definitely very proud that Anderson was able to get his first pheasant. He, like he said in the previous video, he shot 3 times, and I do believe he hit the pheasant all 3 times. But anyway, it was just a very proud moment for us, and he's super happy. He actually took some of the feathers and put it in his hat. Yeah.
There comes Ducky. He's ready for his dinner. Come on, bud. Hey, buddy. All right, come here. You ready? Come on. Come on, you ready? There you go. Yeah, sweet boy. My Gerber daisies are coming back this year. There's also an orange one in there. So I have yellow, like a coral color, and then an orange.
All right, so we just fed Ducky, and I'm going to go out and feed dogs and chickens in just a minute, but I wanted to show y'all the garden. We've already got stuff coming up, and it looks so pretty.
I see some, it looks like some of the peas coming up. I'll have to double check and ask my husband, but I think those are peas, or maybe those are Roma beans. I can't tell. I'll ask him. And you may not be able to see it very well down the row. Maybe it shows up a little. But this is the actual corn starting to come up. You see this little plant right there? And right there? That's the corn. And if I remember correctly, I think we did 6 rows of it. I'm pretty sure. And this is the okra row. Goes all the way down.
I would be so sad if all that hard work was wasted because the bunny rabbits got in here, and the deer, especially when we have fence coming. It's just not here yet because of all the delays and shipping and everything being shut down. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, that it gets here soon. Although I will say, we ended up with 3 separate orders to Premier One. We ordered our fence, and then we realized we needed some more. So my husband placed a second order. Well, then he realized that he had forgotten the charger. So we ended up making 3 purchases. And because the purchase amounts were significant amounts, he actually got a phone call from Premier One making sure that it was him who had made the purchases. And I thought that was really cool. Most of the time it's the financial institution that calls you whenever you make large purchases, but they called us just to make sure that someone hadn't gotten a hold of our credit card and ordered a bunch of stuff, and I thought that was excellent customer service on their part. So thank you, Premier One, sincerely.
All right, girls, y'all ready? They love when we give them our vegetable scraps. They will almost fight over them sometimes. Out of their stuff. Get after her, geese. Run her off. Well, we got 13 eggs today. We have 19 hens that should be laying, but we'll take it. 13's better than none. Okay, as promised, we are doing our pheasant that Anderson killed. We're cooking it tonight for dinner. We're cooking it in the crock pot with some wild turkey that Steve killed. It's been in the freezer for a year or so, but we've got pheasant in there and turkey. Then we also have 4 potatoes, 2 bell peppers, some chopped up carrots, minced garlic, and chicken broth. We put some chicken broth in the bottom, and then we salted and peppered the meat, doused it in a little bit of flour, and then seared it. We use gluten-free flour since I have celiac disease, but you could do this with regular flour as well. And now it's in the crock pot, and we're going to cook it on high for several hours until the meat is falling off the bones and the potatoes and all are tender. Sunset over the pond. Good night, y'all.